So, yeah, I had my first COVID jab today. A little bit of a long story leading to that as well. But I'm 35 years old. Our age group have waited a long time to be on the... we were looking at the list last year of eligibility for vaccines. It's like, well, we're never going to get it then. It wasn't impatience. It was just, you looked and it was like, right, everybody like 90 and over, everybody 80 and over, everybody 70 and over, everybody 60 and over. And then it was like, everybody 60 and over with health conditions, everybody 60 and over with this, everybody 60 and over with that. It just seemed to stall at that point in the list. And then it's like, oh, 50, right? Now everyone that's 50 and's got this. Everyone that's 50 and is entitled to this. Anybody who's got... And it's like, right, we're like 20th down the list, you know. Anyone in their 20s and 30s. Yeah, very impressive that we've got through it. You're right, Oscar. It's been very quick, says Oscar, compared to other vaccines in the past. Yeah, I fully agree. So please don't take any of this as a knock. This is just my retelling of my experience, my thought processes. So I just put it to the back of my mind, and then when there was this online calculator someone had come up with to give you a rough estimation of when you'd be likely to get yours. I'm talking obviously from the perspective of Wales and the United Kingdom. Yeah, so the calculator said mid-May. So I thought, okay, well, I'll await my letter mid-May. And then a friend of an old uni friend, I just saw their tweet one day, and they said, if anybody wants an idea of how well things are going in Wales regarding the vaccine, I'm 24 and I've just had my letter. And I was just like, what? You know, obviously positivity, all the best, fantastic that you're getting it. But I'm 35 and I meant it, I didn't mean it as a grumble, I meant it as a kind of, good on you, because I'm 35 and in our area we haven't got the letters yet. But that prompted my old uni friend to get in touch with me and say, Jim, I'd seriously check this, because, check to make sure the health centre got your details correct and everything, because, lots of other areas in Wales, not just this. I thought it was just an outlier. I thought this particular area, they've just been really super efficient or something, or lower population. Not all of Wales is very highly populated. There's lots of mountains and stuff. So I just thought, well, maybe it's a smaller county or less population or whatever. But no, he said to me, you should check. I would urge you to check, because... yeah, lots of parts of Wales have moved on to the late 20s age group, and I'm 35, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, this is a different story. If the brackets whizzed past me and moved on, I probably should check. So this is where the story starts from today, and it literally has been entirely today, no exaggeration. So I left it till today, because I think my sister, said, oh, let's phone together, because I'm concerned about this as well. She's a bit younger than me, but still... near the same bracket, and if it's moved on to 24-year-olds, it's younger than her as well. So she said, do you mind waiting just to do it till today? I could have done it yesterday, but I thought, all right, yeah, it's no odds to me, because I was expecting mid-May anyway. So phone today. Health centre put me in touch with the main vaccination line for the Swansea Bay area, and I gave them a ring, and they just said, we've got an appointment today, 1:30. It's just like, I honestly thought I was just phoning up to check my details, but okay. It's worth keeping an eye on the social media. If you're, this won't apply necessarily worldwide, but if you're in Wales, if you're in the UK, there's because people are missing appointments and not showing up, there are spare vaccines left over. You can get yourself onto reserve lists in some areas, and they're basically, more than glad to have you, because otherwise the vaccines are going to be thrown away. So yeah. I now have my first dose of the vaccine. I'll tell you a little bit about how it went and how it's going. But yeah, today then. So very, very short notice, because it wasn't short notice. I'm not blaming them. I was the one that phoned and got offered the appointment. So it's not really short notice. Short notice would have been them phoning me and telling me I had to get there. So yeah, this morning, we got the appointment at 1:30. Went over about 12:30ish, just to be on the safe side. It's about a half-hour journey, but you never know what the traffic's going to be like. So I think got there, started walking in about 1:15. It's a fairly long walk to get in, going around this weird and windy path, but we got there. Not stupidly long, but it was took a couple of minutes, I would have said, and then really nice inside. So it's a field hospital, basically. So in a way, that's nice as well. The field hospitals have been quite divisive, because they built them all, and then in the minds of lots of people, they became kind of pointless because they weren't being utilised, and then there was lots of I'm not getting into that. Don't go into that in the chat. But there were lots of arguments. Oh, well, why did we bother building them if they weren't being used? And then people were arguing back, saying, "Excuse me, I'm staff there. It's definitely being used." Yeah, yada yada yada. That's a different debate. But what's nice now is, they've become very, very handy mass vaccination centres, haven't they? So it's all come good in the end. So we walk in, and it's it's just a nice building. Kind of Spartan, but it's not uncomfortable, not oppressive. Lots of lights, lots of white walls, but lots of lights. Quite airy. That's handy, because you need ventilation and all. Ben's saying, my arm is aching a tad, but nothing else yet. I did the reserve list as well. Got the train from Cardiff, then a 15-minute Uber. Gosh, you had a bit trickier journey than me then. It was a very smooth process and quick. Yeah, absolutely. Can't fault them for that. And very logical, very sensible as well. And there was this person who deserved a medal on the front. They had to do a full 360 because they were watching the people coming in and the people going out. They were lovely. All of them were lovely. And they got to be there all day for you're only there for an hour or so, well, half hour or so in total. So good on them. The volunteers there and everything, and I presume obviously paid staff as well. But got directed. The only bit that was a bit surreal was as I was walking into the vaccine centre, they said, "And if you could go down there and you'll be in pod 4 for your vaccination." I was just like, not pods. I don't want to be in a pod. But actually, again, that created the impression that you were going to be in like a little box or something. No, it was a long corridor, a really long, wide corridor. So, it was a room, really, but it was being used as a corridor. Seats a couple of metres apart along one side of the corridor and seats a couple of metres apart the other side. And what they did then was they were bringing the vaccines to you. So I don't know, Ben, if it's similar with what you had. But yeah, great system. So they basically just came along in sequence. You had like a long corridor with like... guessing, but maybe 50 people in total. Let's see, I could see like 5 people across from me, and that was in like one section. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 50. 30 to 40, maybe 50. I can't remember how far the corridor went down, but they were all along the sides of the corridor then, basically. So they came along with 2 trolleys, one on each side of the corridor, and that's why it's important to point out that it was a very wide corridor. It wasn't like a typical hospital corridor. You'd never get 2 trolleys sideways and you wouldn't be at a safe distance. Everybody had masks on, patients and staff. And the trolleys come along, they got a computer on it. One person was tapping away, putting the details in, they were asking the questions, and then the other trolley came along with the sharps container and the vaccines and everything. And they were so quick, I didn't even see them doing the person before me. They'd done it so quickly. And they were just lovely, Cat Kit saying pods. I went to the GP and had mine done at the end of a corridor. Oh, well. Well, we were both in corridors, but this was like a purpose-driven built thing, type of thing. Ben's saying, similar for me then. Had to sit for about 15 minutes to make sure there wasn't a bad reaction. Not sure if it was the same for you. Yeah, that's what they said, 15 minutes, and then you're basically timing it yourself. The only thing I found a bit sad was, I'm not a talky person. I'm not a social butterfly. However, when there is absolute silence, I wouldn't say absolute uncomfortable silence, because we were all there for the same reason. We were all in our own little bubbles, metaphorically speaking, in our heads. They're just like, I'm just here, just getting the vaccine, getting it done, getting it out of the way. All sorts of reasons why people might not want to talk, right? But in that situation where there's no talking going on whatsoever and you're with a group of people, I have to fill the silence with something. And I said, I'm not a social butterfly. I'm not an extrovert. But if there's dead silence, I need to do something. The problem is I'm not very great at starting conversations. So I often come up with something that isn't really very relatable. And I'll say it and people will just kind of go, what? And I'll just be like, so you've not seen that programme then? No. Huh? And then I just hope that they'll forget I said anything. It's that sort of situation. So nobody's talking, but that's normal. That's pre-lockdown. That's before COVID. I'd have been like that. I genuinely thought, gosh, people are going to be so desperate for a bit of social contact, not physical contact, just a bit of social contact, a bit of conversation, a bit of inane conversation, just something rubbish, absolutely rubbish. I thought there'd be conversation, but no, literally, the minute they said, all right, and I just sit there, okay, yep. Everybody. The one across from me, the one next to me, All the way down the corridor. This is... Oh, sorry, you can't see that on the screen. That's all I could see was this. All the way down the corridor. Straight on the phone. Until the trolley came along. And all ages this is, mine. Not just the stereotype. Not just teenagers. It's everybody. And I was looking around and just kind of going... I'd have thought someone wanted to just break the... We've been in lockdown. For months, for over a year. This is a perfect excuse. Sanctioned by the government, sanctioned by the law, for a brief, inane, rubbish, boring conversation about the weather, about football. I'd have even got into a conversation about football. I didn't care. Just something. No, whoomph, straight in. Straight into the phones. That's all I saw. It's just this. And I was just like... Gosh, I had like 1 second conversation with the person next to me about the arm aching. Oh, yeah. And then back in the phone. So, yeah. That was that. So anyway, yeah, the injection itself, barely at all, other members of the family, talking to mum and dad and things, they were saying that they didn't really feel it at all. I felt it, but it's like accidentally touching a staple or something. And then going, ooh. It's nothing. It lasts for a microsecond. What I can't cope with personally is just the knowledge the needle is there. And I know it's all psychological. And I know it's silly. Silly in inverted commas, because I'm not trying to make fun of other people who are also scared of needles. I'm saying I am too. But it's I can get over that. I can kind of go, right. But that's what happened then. Because I said, and the person again taking the details and doing the vaccination, both lovely. And I said, by the way, I was thinking, you've probably seen all of this before, I know, but if I scowl, it's not you. It's just, it's just what I have to do. Yeah, that's fine. And then as the needle went in, it was like... And I felt myself closing my eyes. Wasn't expecting that, but it's just like... Then I was in the zone, and I was like... And I ended up saying, it's okay. Like that, slightly under my breath. Now, I didn't realise it was coming across differently to what I was trying to say was it's okay to them. It's like, don't worry about all this going on. I was saying it's okay to carry on. Not that they would have stopped. I mean, I hope they wouldn't. I really, really hope they wouldn't be like halfway through injecting and then just go, oh, sorry, do you want us to pause for a minute? No, no, get it done. Get it out of the way. Right, so quarter of an hour, nothing. Apart from my arm... sort of felt like felt like it does when when you go to sleep on your arm and then you wake up in the morning, it's a bit numb and then it starts to go sort of tingly. It didn't hurt, it was just numb and tingly a little bit. And it was like, and it's gone in phases throughout the day. It's kind of been okay and then it's gone numb again and then it's gone okay and then it's gone numb again and then it's gone okay. No worse than when you slept on it, as I say. And then you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, that pins and needlesy feeling, but not very much, only a little bit. It's taken until now. We're past about the 9-hour mark now. Are we 8.5? No, we've passed the 9-hour mark now. So I'd say about the 6-7 hour mark. That's I was warned that tomorrow my muscles will be sore. Now I'd say it's soreness, not unmanageable pain, but my muscles are now sore, whereas before it was just pins and needlesy. CT saying I had the COVID jab. It was fine for the night, but about 12 hours later I had horrible flu symptoms. Oh well, touch wood. I had the Pfizer one, by the way. I know that my parents had the AstraZeneca. I kind of wanted the AstraZeneca because they said about how it's more versatile to different strains, but I mean, there's pros and some small amount of cons to both, I suppose, in terms of the symptoms, but they're both doing very similar things. Yeah, okay, right, so had the jab, fine. A little bit of pins and needles, but fine. Then suddenly, at about an hour in, I reckon, about an hour in, suddenly started feeling what I can only describe as I was kind of woozy. It's like that feeling you get after you've had a couple of beers, not loads. That feeling you've had after you've had a couple of beers, like late at night, and you're kind of tired. It was that feeling, except I also simultaneously felt wide awake. That's what was so strange. It was like it was almost like I felt like I was pretending at being tired, but I was having to concentrate on speaking. like you do when you're kind of just waking up and you're forcing yourself to wake up, but you're kind of half asleep. And I was just like, but what's going on? Like, I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine, but I'm kind of like, I'm having to concentrate on my words, as I say, and I'm like that. So we got some lovely chips on the way home. Some of the best chips I've ever had, actually. In a place we don't go to very often. So if you know Swansea at all, on the way back, you've got Asda in Llansamlet. There's a little chip shop, and there's a Greggs, and there's a KFC. There's all little ones dotted around. Lovely chips from there, Finnegan's, so shout out to them. I was fine after food. So I thought, this doesn't make any sense. How can it have been food was the issue and not the vaccine? Then I had a bit of a nap while Emmerdale. In the break from Emmerdale, I just needed a nap. And I managed to do my full day of work and a little bit extra. I was trying to talk to Minty on Discord, but I had to cut off the call because I was like, talking is exhausting. He said, don't worry, mate, honestly, we'll catch up another time. I felt a bit guilty, but it's like I didn't realise until I went to talk that the talking was exhausting me, so I was like this. Then I got a second wind and I was fine. Then I had a nap during Emmerdale, and now I'm getting a bit of a third wind again. But yeah, I'm probably going to go bang into bed. Just like, no music, no videos on the tablet, just straight to sleep. Ben saying, I missed lunch before mine and had to grab a meal deal after, which helped. Yeah. I mean, I didn't miss lunch. I had lunch, but having second lunch, just like everything was cured, I mean, yeah, I'm tired in a way that you would be if you'd done lots of stuff. And I mean, the point is it's an adrenaline rush as well. So, a lot of the time after the vaccine, I couldn't, apart from the pins and needles in my arm, I couldn't actually separate anything that might have been a minor symptom of the vaccine could just as well have been my own adrenaline anticipating symptoms. It was the symptoms, if they were there, were so mild that I couldn't tell the difference between that and my own psychosomatic placebo effect, mind over matter, whatever. I guess it's not strictly placebo effect because I actually had a jab, but Cat Kit saying I had low iron when I had mine, was unwell for a week, but I'd do it again. Well, yeah, as I say, no one likes being ill, but don't take that to mean that I'm trying to argue that it's better than the alternative. Obviously not. I was just bracing myself for it. I was bracing myself for being really rotten. It hasn't happened yet, but again, a couple of people have said to me it took a couple of days. It took at least a day or at least a couple of days. In chat, we've said that as well. So we'll see. We'll see how we're doing. At least the worst of it will hit on the weekend if I am ill. And yeah, darn sight better than the alternative. We'll see again. I might. Somebody else basically had it. They were fine on the day, slept the whole next day. So it might be a case of, work are great, very flexible, very understanding. So, if it's a case that I'm so zonked tomorrow that I can't work, I've got spare days off. I mean, where have we had to go? I haven't needed the holidays, that's the point. So I've got so many spare holidays. They're so good at work, they'd probably insist on me taking it as a sick day or something. I'm very fortunate in that respect. Cat Kit saying second lunch sounds great though. Yeah, absolutely. The point was I didn't feel that hungry. It's because the chips are so nice, obviously. But no, I didn't feel hungry. But it was like, it's probably sensible to eat something. I ate it all. There wasn't a single flake of chip left at the bottom. I can tell you that now. So I was hungrier than I thought or felt. So that helped tremendously. Ben saying, I heard that not drinking alcohol gets a better immune response, but not sure how significant it is. Yeah, Mum told me that. I'm not a big drinker anyway, so that helps. So yeah, hopefully I've reassured you. It's no good just saying, you'll be fine. Nothing will happen. There are some symptoms, but it shouldn't stop you getting the vaccine, So that's my honest retelling of my case. It's my individual case. Everybody will be different. So yeah, take it under advisement, as I say, but the process was great. The people were lovely, all very efficient, all very safe. We had time to sit there as well, we weren't being booted out. There was one, we were 13 minutes in, and somebody was coming to clean the seats, and I was just like, I'm getting the impression that they kind of need the seats, but I've got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left. I'm timing it exactly. I gave it 16 and a half minutes just to be on the safe side.